Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all the ships at sea. This is your favorite Uncle Robbie, and we're back here talking shit. Okay, guys, my last video about going shopping, coronavirus, I did it kind of as a joke. You know, I went out and I bought 70 pounds of rice and 40 pounds of beans and a case of chicken, a case of canned tuna, and, you know, things like that. And I did it as a joke, and I gave a big F you to all my friends who made fun of me all these years because I'm a quote-unquote prepper. I've been prepping for at least 20 years. I mean, seriously, for 20 years. I started prepping before Y2K. You know, I started out with just a couple of 5-gallon buckets full of emergency food, you know, just rice and beans, things like that. And, you know, I remember the first time I bought a gas mask was back in like 1989. And everybody was like, why do you need this? And I'm like, well, better to have one and not need it than need it and not have it. And I actually still have that mask. It's in my dad's, and it still works. And I still have the 2 original filters I got with it. Bought it from this place called Spytech that was in the Empire State Building, believe it or not. And you know, people made fun of me, and I was like, okay, well, better have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Last week I was still in like, okay, I'm just gonna go out and restock some buckets. I actually opened one of my buckets that I packed for Y2K because Y2K was going to be this big, you know, Y2 chaos. And it was like, I call it anticipation. It was like this big build up to nothing. The world didn't end. I remember New Year's Eve 2000. I was out in a bar in Davenport watching a band, and, you know, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Well, we're here now in 2020. Okay, 2020 vision. Hindsight is perfect. 2020 all the time. And I was just thinking, was I stupid? Was I crazy? No. I mean, I was a Boy Scout, and our motto was be prepared. It should be the Boy Scout motto now, like, you know, keep your butt cheeks clenched. You know, I can imagine the campfire stories they tell now, you know, at Boy Scout camp. It's like, you know, after being forced to fuck and suck every throbbing cock on the cell block, little Johnny remembered his Boy Scout training, and he loosened his sphincter muscles. You know, you know, the Boy Scouts getting sued. I digress. I could do a whole nother video on that stuff. Never had any problems in the Boy Scouts, probably because I'm not very attractive. That's why I never got molested, but hey, that's on me. So I digress once again. This panic over this coronavirus is really like starting to come to a head. And I'm talking just in the last 7 days. The video I put up last week, I shot it on like a Tuesday, and I was sitting around, watched the Liberty Doll video. I said, what the hell, I can't sleep, let me go shopping. So I went to Walmart and filled up my shopping cart with stuff, $181, that's what it cost. You know, filled up 4 or 5 buckets, you know, that I have just to do. And I didn't even put these in Mylar bags. I'm calling this stuff like short-term storage, which means less than a year or two. I mean, if it was long-term storage, I had them sealed in Mylar bags. And when I opened my Mylar bag that I packed in 2000, or actually 1999, I opened it up, cooked it up. Shit's still good. It's sitting in my kitchen right now. Gonna be using it up here in the next couple of months. And you know, if you're a prepper, you're a prepper. What I'm seeing now is panic prepping. You know, you don't want to do anything in a panic. Everybody, please trust me. You don't want to be doing this because you're panicking. Don't panic. Please don't panic. Panicking makes people like me very uneasy. Okay? Because when people panic, they become irrational. All right? When irrational people, I hate to say this, but when irrational people start acting out, rational people like myself who've been preparing for events like this for decades start to panic, because irrational people will do irrational things. I mean, I don't see this virus causing the economic crisis that a lot of people are talking about right now. I had a show tonight, just for an example. Played a gig tonight, Upstate Bar and Grill. There was maybe 30 people there. Okay, last week we played the Red Shed. It was packed. There was 150. And in a week, people just stopped going out. Okay? The chances of contracting the coronavirus are pretty small. The chances of a normal, healthy person dying from the coronavirus is very, very small, as far as what we've seen so far, as far as what we know. Now, I tell you what, I play in a band with a bunch of doctors, okay? And they're not too worried about it. They're going to be overworked. If it does go from New Rochelle, it reaches up here to upstate New York. You see pictures of the nurses in Italy passed out on their desks. I really don't know. This is the beginning of a couple of videos. I had a bunch of people asking me questions tonight because I guess I'm the authority now on prepping that they know, because I've been doing it for so long. Of course, they've been making fun of me for so long, and so I said F you to all my friends who've been making fun of me for the last 30 years for doing what I do. I'm not paranoid. I'm not crazy. Well, whatever. That's debatable. But I'm a Boy Scout. I like to be prepared. If you saw my video from before Christmas about great Christmas gifts to give your kids for the upcoming Civil War, well, you know what? I did put together my first aid kits. And I put together 6 of them. Individual first aid kits. Now, I guess there's a run on first aid supplies. Maybe I was a couple of months ahead of it. And while I was in Albuquerque, this whole coronavirus thing came to a head. And, I drove home like, okay, not too worried. But, you know what? I'm just gonna buy an extra week's worth of stuff every month. And that's really what I've been doing for the last 25 years. Okay? After 9/11, there was a run on gas masks and like American flags. You couldn't buy, and I don't want to say gas mask, because a gas mask would have a hose attached to an oxygen tank or an air tank or something like that, like a fireman would use. What we use is, if I can find it, is it still sitting here? I don't know. I wore it on my last video. It's sitting on the floor someplace. It's called a protective mask. And actually a military-style protective mask would be what you really want to use in this situation. Those little around your ear surgical masks, they're not going to do anything, because coronavirus is a droplet infection. Okay? So it can go through your ears, it can go through your nose, it can go through your mouth, it gets on your lips, whatever. Somebody sneezes on you and a drop goes on your lip and you lick it off. Could you get infected? Yeah, maybe. What's happening is most people are infecting themselves, because what they do is they touch an infected doorknob and then they go, oh, I'm going to pick my nose, or I'm going to rub my eye. You know what? Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Really easy, because these are portals of entry for all kinds of germs. The inside of your face, I was watching a video by Prepper Nurse, or Patriot Nurse as she calls herself now, and she's like, don't pick your nose, because right here is a petri dish. And she's so right. Germs can just grow inside of your head. So don't do that. Okay? But don't panic. Don't panic, because when you panic, you make people like me nervous. Now, guess what? I'm sitting here, I'm all ready for everything. When I start prepping, I was like, what am I prepping for? I don't know. Is it a nuclear war? Is it a pandemic? A zombie apocalypse? A global economic world financial meltdown? I don't know. But what you have to do is just be ready for everything. But don't panic, because everybody panicking is making me nervous. I'm not panicking, okay? But I tell you what, I got my shit ready to go. So I mean, I just went into what I call my strategic seed reserve. I collect seeds so I can plant the garden. I do plant plants every year, just small ones, just to see how they'll come out. Don't have much luck growing peppers. Have pretty good luck growing tomatoes in buckets. Can grow squash and beans till my heart's content, because they really don't take much to grow. Is it coming down to that? I don't know. I really don't know. And if it does come down to it, my little farm, how am I going to defend it? Well, guess what? I can. People have been asking me, hey, do you have ammunition? I'm like, no, I don't have any ammunition. I might have stocked up a little bit during the Walmart clearance sale on all their handgun and, assault rifle ammunition, but no, I don't have any ammo. Not to give to anyone. And I wouldn't, because people who have absolutely no training want me to arm them, and I'm not going to, because that would put me at a liability. Also, legally, I can't give a firearm to somebody without a transfer. It's against the law. So, it's just everybody stop panicking. Everyone, please stop panicking. Gonna do a few more videos tonight. I'm gonna drop them a few days apart. I'm happy to be shooting some YouTube videos right now. I'm very happy to be shooting these YouTube videos again. I've been doing nothing for the last week or so because my arthritis has been so bad since I got home that I really haven't got out of bed all that often, except to go to practice and to a show. And that's no bullshit. So anyway, a lot of people asking me questions. What kind of gun should I get? I'm like, have you ever owned a gun before? And they're like, no. And I'm like, why not? And they're like, well, because I never really needed a gun before. And I'm like, do you think you need one now? This is I guess I would say a medical emergency, but the stock market's going down. People are panic buying food. It can turn, panic is a bad thing. Fear is a bad thing. So have no fear, don't panic, but I'm going to answer some of the questions in the following videos, follow videos to this one. And, I hope I can answer some of the questions that were asked of me tonight by people. I had a really good conversation with this dude from Cameroon, and he's like, how many infections have been in West Africa? And I guess there's some natural immunity that the people in West Africa have to this because, well, guess what? They're used to all kinds, they've built up immunities to stuff like this. Guess what? They don't have access to antibiotics, widespread access to antibiotics. So I'm like, yeah, those people have built up immunities to malaria and everything. I don't really want to get into the epidemiology of it, or I don't know if that's even the right word. Maybe I just made that up. Sorry, that's just a smoker's cough. That's not a corona cough. You gotta stop these things though, because these are really bad for you. So anyway, guys, I don't know. Hang in there. Don't panic. Everybody, please don't panic. Okay? There's nothing you can do. These runs on Costco and all that, I did it just to make fun of it. And now I see people actually going out and doing it. It like I said, it makes people like me nervous. I'm not panicking, but it makes me a little nervous. So, hey, I don't know. Go clip up your ammo, run a patch down your bore, do what you got to do if it makes you feel better. But at this point, I need another beer. So, guys, hang in there. Keep on rocking in the free world. And don't forget, Rob Graham for President 2024. Good night.